Hello everyone, TAC1421 here. Welcome back to another episode of Mega Moveset. Today we are going to be covering Mega Scizor. Now, regular old Scizor has always been one of my favorite Pokemon, always in the top 5 ever since it came out. And for whatever reason, Mega Scizor just isn't even in my top 5 Megas. I don't know what it is. I'm not too thrilled about the Mega Evolution. I'm glad that Scizor got a Mega Evolution. I'm not 100% in love with this Mega Pokemon. That's not saying that it's bad or anything. Whatever it is, I just had different hopes or different expectations for Mega Scizor when I found out that Scizor was getting a Mega Evolution. So we're going to go through Mega Scizor nonetheless in this episode of Mega Moveset and talk about all the ins and outs of Mega Scizor and this particular moveset, as well as other potential movesets that you can put on Mega Scizor and what you might find common and all that, and when you should use this Pokemon, what kind of teams you should use this Pokemon on. And I also have some clips at the very end because I wanted to kind of test out a few things and press my luck in the OU tier with Mega Scizor because, despite it not meeting my expectations fully, it's still a pretty awesome Pokemon nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get started. And before we do all of that, I want to look at regular old Scizor. And I always like Scizor, the shiny version of Scizor. I just think it's really cool. And again, whatever reason, I just don't like the shiny Mega Scizor. I don't like the green on there. I like it red better for whatever reason. But as far as Scizor goes, I like it green better. Go figure. I don't know. Just personal preferences. But as far as the stats go, Scizor got a lot of good stats. Raises, that is. And he already had pretty good stats. Scizor was always a Pokemon in OU. It was very powerful. The only downside to Scizor was the ×4 weakness to fire. And that really, dampered it and kind of cut off. I don't know. It wasn't very good against fire types and stuff like that, like Infernape or Charizard and all that stuff. So you had to be careful about fire type moves. And same thing goes with Mega Scizor. But if you have the right team, then you shouldn't be worried too much. If you have something like Flash Fire on your team, or if you have something that resists fire, you can just switch back and forth. Scizor has some really good resistances as far as the OU tier goes, just because there's a lot of things that are common, like dragon and fairy types, that it actually resists. And then you just have to worry about the fire type, like I said. ×4 weakness to fire, it's immune to poison. It resists normal, bug, psychic, ice, steel, and then the two mentioned dragon and fairy, which is really nice. Fairy and dragon being pretty popular, pretty common, as well as ice type moves are pretty common as well to deal with the dragon type. So that's really nice there. It quad resists grass to kind of make up for that 4 times weakness to fire. So that's pretty nice too. You resist those grass moves. And then everything else you're just neutral. So there's no ×2 weaknesses. There's only one ×4 weakness, and that's fire. So that's the only thing you really have to worry about is fire type moves. As far as the stats go, its attack was already really powerful, really good attack. And 130, that got boosted up to 150, which is nice. The defense, crazy defense boost from 100, which is already pretty solid, to 140, which is just insane. So normal, like just regular old physical moves that you resist aren't going to do much to you. You're going to take those like a champ, even from Pokemon that have really, really high attack base stats. So that's really nice there. The special attack also got an increase by 10. Don't really worry about that too much. As well as the special defense got an increase by 20, and the speed increased by 10 as well. So 100 increased stats, points, whatever you want to call them, across the board, which is typical for the Megas out there. But I really liked where the 100 points went for Mega Scizor. So I'm really happy about that. The stat lines and all that, really impressive. 150 base power in attack is really crazy. To go along with Scizor's ability, which it has the same ability, which again, I'm kind of disappointed about. It makes it so that you can, I guess, use pretty much the same moveset as regular old Scizor, just you get your increased stats, but you don't have a choice band from regular old Scizor, which is a little disappointing. So I was hoping maybe it would be like Technician 2.0, where maybe you get your stats boosted a little more, or, you know, let's take a look at Technician for those of you who do not know. This Pokemon's attacks of 60 base power or less do 1.5 times damage, including struggle. So it's basically like an extra, 50% extra on your attacks. For example, Bullet Punch. We'll do the math for this one, and then we'll continue to talk about Scizor real quick. Bullet Punch has a base power of 40. So you divide that by 2, you get 20. Tack that on to Scizor. His Bullet Punch is doing 60 plus an additional 20 for the stab. You have a Bullet Punch hitting for double the damage. You're hitting for 80 damage with your Bullet Punch, and it has priority. So that's pretty awesome. So that's just an example, and then you can do the math for everything else that has less than 60. Aerial Ace would be doing 90 damage, for example, stuff like that. So you just divide by 2 and then add it to the total. Or you can multiply it by 1.5, But the simple math is just divide by 2 and add that to the total. All right. Anyways, we're talking about Technician. So I was kind of hoping that Mega Scizor would get like a Technician 2.0 kind of ability, where maybe like this Pokemon's attacks of 80 base power or less do 1.5, making it a little bit better, kind of making up for not having that choice band. But, what can you do? It is what it is. So let's go ahead and look at the EV spread that I have on here. And I tested this out a little bit. I think the best thing to do is invest fully in attack. That way your Bullet Punches and all that are going to be doing the max amount of damage. I didn't invest in speed at all. You could invest in speed, but I just felt like if you need to outspeed something, then just go for Bullet Punch as priority. So that's my stance on that. The other EVs go into defense. I put 136, making that at 350, which is really solid. And then special defense, 120, which is the remaining. 266 special defense. So it's definitely more defensive than physically defensive than specially defensive. But really, you can take a good amount of special hits if you resist them as well. Just be careful about those fire attacks. That's the number one goal. The number one rule with Scizor and Mega Scizor is watch out for those fire moves. And some Pokemon that you might not think get like Fire Punch and stuff like that, if they switch in on you and it's kind of an odd switch in, watch out for the Fire Punch, because there's a lot of things that actually do get Fire Punch, and I myself put Fire Punch on for Steel types and Grass types in the OU tier and in other tiers as well. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look at the moveset and why I chose these moves and other moves you can potentially use instead of these. Bullet Punch, I think, is the standard move you should have on any Scizor set, no matter what kind of Scizor you're running, Mega or non-Mega, setup or regular physical attack or choice band, whatever Scizor you're running. I think Bullet Punch is the go-to first move you should put on there regardless of anything. So Bullet Punch, standard move, as I said before, it's going to be hitting for 80 base power, 100% accuracy, has priority. Great move, great go-to move. Your Swords Dance is the second move on here, and I like Swords Dance a lot. I usually put Swords Dance on Scizor, unless, of course, I'm running a choice band in Scizor, which in that case I don't run Swords Dance because that would be foolish. That'd be a waste of a move because you can't attack after you use Swords Dance. But Swords Dance, I think, is a pretty solid move for any Scizor set that doesn't have a choice band on it, especially Mega Scizor, which has a Scizorite. So I would run Swords Dance. And the third move is kind of an up-in-the-air move that is a little bit questionable. I like Pursuit a lot. I've seen different people run Pursuit on Scizor, and it'd be very effective, especially once you get some attack raises with your Swords Dance. If you switch it on like a Ghost type or something that is weak to Dark type moves, the Pursuit it doubles the power if your foe switches out. So normally it's going to be doing 60 damage thanks to the Technician. If your opponent switches out, it's doing 120 base power with Pursuit, which is pretty solid. And if they don't switch out and you're faster on a Pokemon's weak to dark, then it's going to knock it out most likely anyways. So I like Pursuit in these regards. Other moves you can use here is Roost. I've seen a lot of people use Roost. I think that's a pretty solid move you could use in this situation. So I would try the 2 out. You can also use Substitute if you want, but I feel like that's being a little too cheeky by running both Swords Dance and Substitute. I would probably go with Roost if you're going to go with something else. But I like Pursuit. I've been trying it out a lot, and I think it's pretty solid. You'll see that in the clips as well. That's a pretty good move. The last one is Bug Bite. Now, why Bug Bite, you may ask? Why am I running Bug Bite? Well, if you look at Scizor, which is the other move you could run in this situation, Scizor is hitting for 80 base power. With the Stab, you're hitting for 120 base power with Scizor. Has 100% accuracy. Bug Bite, with the Technician boost, you're hitting for 90. With the Stab, you're hitting for 120 as well. So, and you have a chance to steal the user's berries and eat them for yourself and take the advantages of that. Now, this has never happened to me. I very rarely eat any berries, but if you get into a situation where, I don't know, maybe your opponent has a Lumberry and you become burned or something like that, it could come in handy every 1 in 100 times you use it. So why not use Bug Bite instead of Scizor? I don't know a solid reason why not to, so I just think it's kind of cool to just use Bug Bite instead of Scizor. The other move you could use is U-Turn, but I think that would kind of require a different kind of moveset. If you're going to use U-Turn, I might switch out Swords Dance with Roost. Maybe you keep Pursuit and just run U-Turn instead of Bug Bite. Or Scizor. So either Bug Bite or Scizor in the situation. So yeah, if you're going to go with U-Turn though, do what I said, and probably Roost instead of Swords Dance is probably the play to go. Unfortunately, the base 70 power, and this again is why I kind of hope that the Technician would be a better increase just because it's your Mega. But the U-Turn hits for 70 power, so you're not going to get the Technician boost on there. So you are going to get Stab, however, so you're going to hit for 95, which is pretty solid. Did I do that right? 105. You're going to hit for 105 with your U-Turn. And you switch out. So it's all right, but I wouldn't use it. I think this moveset's pretty solid for all the reasons that I explained, and I think I covered everything. Other moves you can potentially use that I don't like that much. If Knockoff was a base 60 power, I would definitely use it in a heartbeat. It's 65. Knockoff is still a great move. I just like Pursuit for all the reasons I talked about a little bit better than Knockoff. Iron Head is also nice, but again, Bullet Punch hitting for Stab. You are going to be hitting for a little bit more damage with Iron Head than you would with Bullet Punch, but Bullet Punch has priority, so that's kind of the reason why you roll with Bullet Punch instead of Iron Head. The hidden powers this generation got a decrease from 70 power to 60. So if you have some special investment and you want to tack on a hidden power, you are going to get the Technician boost with those as well. So that's something to think about. That's pretty much it. That's all I really have to cover. I think I covered all the potential moves you can use. Aerial Ace is another one, but I think it's better to use these other moves and different move sets for that. Night Slash, I didn't cover Night Slash. That's also a potential move you can use, but it has a crit hit chance. But I think that Pursuit and Knockoff are better than Night Slash. If Night Slash was 60 power, then maybe that would be a good thing to do. But again, Technician is 60 or less, so you want to use that Technician ability to your, the greatest of its ability. I've been talking too much. I think you guys get the gist of it. If you're still watching, I do have clips to follow. Please leave this a like if you did enjoy and got something out of the video. And hope you enjoy the clips. And I'll see everyone in the next Mega Moveset episode. Peace.